Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're recording. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Good morning. My name is Humberto Espino. I think you guys know me already. So I'm very actually excited that finally in academic side we actually have AI. When you're looking at we're looking at Microsoft and at ChatGPT. When you're looking at what is this other one from Google, Gemini, and all these different components that are AI. I mean, really are more focused into the business side of things. But with the AI design assistant, which is in Blackboard, is more in the component and the academic focus tool that allows you to actually do some cool things with this. It is actually embedded on every course that you have. All the courses that you have that are Ultra, you will have that tool there. And it's really will allow you to streamline some things, allow you to help you. It's definitely not something that you must use. This is just a tool, just like anything else that we have within Blackboard. If you choose to use it, you can use it. If you choose to just give you a suggestion, which is basically what these tools are, you can use that, and you can also modify it. But before that, I actually would like to introduce Tanya Burns. She's our Ontology Client Experience Manager, which she will tell us a little bit more of how this came about, which is the AI principles.
So yes, as Humberto said, I'm Tanya Burns. Now we're not client experience managers anymore, we're customer success managers.
I am sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't think I told you that.
Okay.
But just a simple change. But anyway, I support Triton College and all things Blackboard. So I work very closely with Humberto. We meet on a monthly basis to just check in and see how everything's going. But with AI Design Assistant, which you're going to see today, we've partnered with Microsoft Azure to be able to provide the AI Design Assistant to institutions. As Humberto said, this is completely opt-in. It is up to you to decide whether or not you'd like to utilize it within the courses that you're teaching, but it's a very powerful tool. It helps provide inspiration to you, helps you design your course a little bit more, gives you a little bit more time back to just kind of with the ease. And we have been, as Blackboard Technology, we are first to market with this AI design tool. So what you'll see here, hope you get excited about it. I'll turn it back over to Humberto.
Right. So, and if you want to know a little bit more about the actual their approach, there's actually in their website you can actually find everything on all the different components that actually how that was integrated to follow that standard. Because, for instance, and I'm sure you hear the news where like ChatGPT goes berserk, right? Start doing things. In this particular framework, they actually have changed that. So it is not that open. It actually is more confined, and it actually is, again, as I mentioned before, is with the confinements of academics. So whatever it's going to give you is going to give you something that is being trained for academics. Another thing, too, is that everything that I'm going to show you here, it's already in their website. With assistance, you can actually find a lot of these things step by steps, and I also included the link. I can also send it to you if you're interested to see it, which is a very long one, but I can share that with you as well. So with that in mind, there is also this help center for the instructor where you can actually, follow everything step by step. They even have videos and that kind of thing. Okay. So with that said, the walkthrough workshop, which is today, what are we going to be doing? So basically, we're going to look at a course banner suggestion. We're going to auto-generate learning modules. That's pretty cool. We're going to look at image integration. We're going to generate images from Ultra documents. We're going to generate authentic discussions and journal prompts. Authentic discussion, that's actually pretty cool. And we'll talk about that in a minute. we're gonna test a question generation again with the content. It's really interesting. I'm sure. How many of you already play with this? Look at this. I love it. Yes, yes. All right. And also you will be able to create a bank generation and rubric generation. And the rubrics, I don't get too deep into it. I just want to show you how you do it. Everything besides and how you use your rubrics, that could be a whole different, we can spend 2 hours easily when it comes to rubrics. But right now, I'm just going to show you, this is best practices. This is how you do it. It is, again, I'm like just like the AI, I'm just suggesting. I mean, Ultimate, you guys are in the classroom, Ultimate. This is something that you can see and preview and see if it's something that you will be interested in using or how you use it, okay? So let's get started. So we'll start with the banner suggestion. How many of you using banners in your courses? And if you have, right, it's like kind of difficult to, like you have to find it, and then sometimes, like you gotta get these things in place, the size and everything, because not everything it doesn't come out right. So this banner, it actually is looking at a royalty-free pictures and fair use images. So you can actually use that. And this all comes from Unsplash stock catalog, which is part of Blackboard. So you don't have to worry about anything. Everything that it shows you is fair for use. You can just use it, not a problem. So why don't we just see how that works? So here I'm teaching my class, and history of rock. That's pretty cool, rock and roll. And this is the course. This is my course. And then, excuse me, and then I want to know how to do that. So if you haven't done the banners, I'm sure you guys don't know this, I will go display settings. I can either click here, it doesn't matter. And then, so originally you will upload the file, but because of now, you actually have the Unsplash. Now here's a tricky thing, right? If you notice, well, you can't see it now, but you saw my title of my course, right? Mm-hmm. History of rock and roll. Right. These things are not, the tools are trying, like right now it's trying to determine what it is that you're teaching. Based on that image is going to give you an image. Well, this is not rock and roll. These are just a bunch of rocks, right? So, and I'm glad it actually does that, because that way it actually puts you in that mind frame that you have to look at as you go through these things. You have to verify, not just make the assumption that is what is giving you. So, but it's very easy. So I can just go now and I can just, let's see if it does that. It's not quite yet. What if I just do that? And I actually like this picture. So I'm going to use this picture. Come on. Of course, the menu is at the bottom. Let me make this a little bit smaller. There you go. You saw what happened, right? It's just the image. Okay, here. Now I can see. Like this image, and then hit next. And here automatically is giving me that. So I kind of want to show the guitars. By the way, I don't play the guitar, so please don't mess. Just like the music. And I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to go save again. And voila, it's right there. Any chords that you have, it will be similar. So now you have that piece. Presentable, looks good. Again, copyright free, so you can use it, not a problem. All right, so that's step number one. How about doing some of our modules. So let's go back here. So now we're gonna auto-generate learning modules. Like when you get your course for the first time, like it's just the two things and that's it. And typically you will either copy. You can copy. I mean, you can continue to do that. You can also auto-generate underneath and something that you can play later on and drag things into the module if you like. That's another piece. I'm not gonna get into that piece, but I know that like I got a really expert users here, so that's why I'm just mentioning it. And again, it actually looks at the title, but you can also use a description component, and you can also paste your syllabus if you want, or you can paste your goals for your course or whatever that you want, and that it actually narrows down what is it going to give you. Right now, I'm just gonna be very simple. So let's play with this. So I want to go here, just the way that I generate a module. So you see that. And then here you have a couple of options. In here, you can even say, if I know how to spell rock. I'm just giving you an example of what you can, but here you can actually, in our last session, someone actually went and tested it and they said that you can actually have up to 24 words. No, 2,000 words in there max, and it could be more than that. We haven't done anything more than that, but I mean your syllabus shouldn't be, for what you want to hear, it shouldn't be that more than that. So you can also go by topic, by unit, by week. Maybe I'm just doing a very short course, 4 weeks. The complexity high will be a PhD. So somewhere here you can, and obviously this is more about how you guys are teaching your class. And then notice they automatically try to generate it, but because I put this here, I'm gonna just do that. And it's doing it. And now it's not only is it giving you the weeks, but it's also trying to look for those images as well. See that? So let's just use those just so you guys can see what it looks like. And I'm going to add this. And here it goes. So it gives you kind of like some suggestions of how you will start your class, your course. If this is not accurate, or if this is something that you like, or you maybe some of it you want to use, you would just go here and edit and just change it the way that you like it. But it gives you a really good start right there. So all of a sudden you now have, you have this already set up for you. So far so good? Yes?
2 questions. Does it generate always multiple modules? So when you give it the description, does it take that to be the description of the course?
Yes.
Okay.
And correct. You can, and it's not only weeks. You can also do by topic. You can use, it will try to.
It's like just one.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, the modules are not populated, right?
No, right now it's just a framework. Like literally, this is how you get started. Sometimes, it's nice to actually have sort of like a template, if you may.
Right.
And then that just helps you right away to actually start looking at them. Yeah, so
I have a
that,
question for you.
yes.
I didn't know you could add pictures like that to your modules.
Well, now you do.
Where do you do that?
And now let me just show you one more.
Yeah, where do you do that?
Oh, I was gonna, this is our next example. I'll show
Okay.
you.
Okay.
So that's
Sorry.
perfect. That is actually the perfect segue to the next part. So, all right, so we're gonna go back to our presentation. So now let's say that you already have a course from last semester. you really like your course, but you want to kind of spiff it up a little bit with the image and all stuff. How do you do that? Good question. So here's my history of rock that I was teaching. Ignore that. Let's say that was 2023. Okay. So and then I have my course. I already have my. And this time I was actually. So I was, like. I have my modules. I'm just going to show you one, but you can do the ones for everything else. So basically, you will go here. You're going to go edit. And then you see at the bottom it says image. You can click here. You can click here. It doesn't really matter. So typically, it will be from the device. But now you have two options. Now, here's the one that is very interesting. So the stock images is just that, stock images. But you can also have it to generate images from the AI itself. Really? Yes. So let's see what it does here. Let's just do this. So right now it's looking at that content that we have. So it's trying to guess what will be the image. So let's do it. So there you go. Do I like that from the 60s? Maybe, maybe not. Could be. I can even tell it, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I'll just say cats. Let's see what it does. And it might not let me do it because it already has the content. So, but we'll find out. It did it. So it is just kind of like, okay, no, that's not a good description. But if you didn't have any content and you can play with it, you can say guitars and cats, and it actually showed you. One time it actually showed me a cat playing a guitar. That was just funny. All right, so this is one version. So you will just pick that if I like this picture. Or the one thing I will say when it generates images is that it's just looking at examples that has been fed to the AI. And sometimes it will actually also give you like letters and things, and they're just not readable. That's how you know that it's been generated by an AI. Also, the face and sometimes the hands are not really well defined. So you just have to look for that make sure that that picture is accurate what you're looking for. Okay. Here looks fine. This is actually look fine.
No problem. Just put all the titles of my chapters in here, and I asked it for correlation and regression. It's in this picture.
There you go. Yes, that's exactly my point.
On the beach.
So
hysterical.
Right. So, but if you want to, stay with the actual, you see how once again it is trying to give me those rocks because, and eventually it will learn what I mean by that. But it could be one of those pictures if that is part of the topic I want to use. So I'm just gonna let's use it. Why not? Do you see how I just zoom it in and it just gives me that? And as always, you want to do a description for for your class. But there you go. And it sounds like you already did it. So there you go.
Yeah, it was really easy.
So
and most of the pictures are pretty good. It's just a couple.
Right, and you can go back. And you can go back, delete those.
Yeah, like there's a unit on probability, and it's a picture of students rolling dice. So yeah, it was pretty appropriate. Yeah.
All right, so that's one. This is for the modules. Let's just, what about inside the content? Because it will also create that. So let me get a little bit more, another example. This time I'm actually teaching a CIS class. Notice how I already have my banner there. I even use, I even put a little picture on the textbook if I'm using that from the ebook. And then I have, where do I have my document? So I actually have a document, I believe in here. So this is my document that is part of my course. I have all this stuff in there. But I would like to add a little bit of, picture here. So how do I do that? Well, I just go here, I will do edit. The image, you see it here, that's the image. And once again, I'm just gonna stick with the stuff. And again, like if this is what I like, or if I just want to say computer architecture, let's see what it gives me. That's not what I wanted. There you go. I kind of like those pictures. I'll use this one. I'll go here. This is up to you how you want it. And I can also resize it if I want to. And I'll just save it. And there you go. Simple. And again, it reads, it's trying to guess where the images are, but you can actually add more in the description.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So, with the compliance, right? Like, is that image, does it come with a description of what it is for someone that needs that?
You have to put it in there. It'll try to give you an example what it is, but it's always best because you know what you're trying to refer to and on your class. Usually that's what you want to add as a description. So, computer, like I think that was a laptop.
But it doesn't automatically do that.
Right. In some instances, it tries, and I'm sure at some point that's going to change. We'll try to give you a more descriptive piece. Still, you will want to look at it to make sure that that's appropriate.
Okay.
But for right now, this is what is showing, and I'm sure that as this thing advances, and to fit in more, because the more we use it, there's more samples that we're providing in a way. So, all right. So far so good, right? All right, so the next one, this is a good one. Hopefully. So now let's talk about discussions and journals. And as we already know, right, AI plagiarism is a concern of all of you guys, and of all of us, I should say. And we just been many conversations to say, how do I detect that? How do I actually know that my students are not going to ChatGPT or whatever else, grab it, and then put it in back? Clearly, that's not working, and it's not going to work. It actually, these things are just getting more advanced and advanced. That is, even all the tools that we have are starting to fail. Like you just not are able to find out whether that is actually something that it was. And it's faster too, and it's so interesting because I remember like. I want to say like 2 years ago, where our plagiarism software started to like not being able to catch up with some of the websites. And it's just because we didn't, internal, you don't know that that's happening, or external, you don't know that that's happening, but like they were already testing some of these things there. So it's just so fast that, the software wouldn't be able to catch everything that is there. So what Ontology is doing is actually looking at practices their authentic assessment, and that's what they call it, authentic assessment. They will help you to do discussions in an authentic way. One of the things that we're finding out right now is that AI is horrible about, it can write you a poem, it can write you things like that, but when you actually ask it to give you an experience, it doesn't have that. It will give you something that is just not completely there, not right. So because of that, that's the way that actually are giving you prompts that encourage students to engage in higher order thinking. So that's where it actually allows you to do that, to validate knowledge, ideas, and emulate real world experiences, like their experience. So as you're teaching your class, tell me what you think about this in which way. So what is nice about it is actually gives you the framework, and then from there you can massage that discussion, more towards what you want them to provide to you. But it gives you that. So let's do that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go into my unit 2. Let me just make sure I'm using my right spaces. Yeah. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to create. I'm going to go into the first one. I'm going to do a discussion. And then here, this is where you will enter those discussions, right? Well, now you have this little menu up here. And it will actually generate that for you. And not only that, it's also using the Bloom's taxonomy, where you can actually look at the level. Are you looking for evaluation? Are you looking for creation? Are you looking for or analyze something? The complexity is usually in Inspire Me means that just give me give me the 4 in this particular case. And then from there you can pick. Or if you are looking for just evaluation, you can just tell it, give me only evaluation questions or discussion topics, and then it will just do that. Give me a second. Here you go. So here's the first one. Evaluate the potential impact of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and augmented reality on various business practices. Share your thoughts and how this technology, so you can actually see now that it's not just like you're gonna go and copy and paste. They might be doing that too, and maybe that's not a bad thing, right? But they actually, at some point, they actually have to answer that question, which ChatGPT or any other of these tools will not be able to do that for them, because you're actually asking for an experience.
Okay, Humberto, can
Yeah.
I ask you a question? So you're in your own, where you had written your own your own module.
This is my class. Yeah, it will be your class.
No,
Yeah.
I understand. You had that written thing. You had written something.
Yeah. It's a
Is
document.
it reading your stuff and coming out with your?
This is actually trying to look at the content that you have there,
on your
Right,
Blackboard.
but not on everything. And once again, you could actually be more descriptive by using this here.
So read my content and generate.
We're not there yet. Let me get into that part.
Okay.
That's not where it is
Yeah.
doing right. This is not doing that. This is actually generating discussions based on the type of course that you're teaching and the headers you're actually producing.
Okay.
It is not going that deep yet.
Okay.
But if you need it, you can actually type the entire thing here, and it will provide you with those discussion topics.
Okay.
So
I get it.
So if you have a document, like let's say that you have a Word document that you had gave them
Yes.
to read, copy that, paste that here, and then tell it to give you
I
questions.
think that's what I wanted to.
Is that clear?
That's.
So let's say that you have a 2-page paper, and then you say, read this, and because I'm gonna have a discussion. Grab that, as long as it's not 20 pages, it has to be something that is more, or a summarization of what you're trying. You can paste it here, and then it will generate those discussions based on that description that you're given. Or you can use, again, you can go back and grab your syllabus, whatever those pieces are that are important to you for that unit, put it here, and it'll give you that
How
description.
about a textbook? How about a chapter in a textbook?
We're not there yet. Yes. So, but is that
It's a little bit
clear?
too long for that description, but
Yeah,
So is it safe to say it's about 2,000 words in that description?
you could potentially do that. Yeah. I wouldn't be going to that level. I mean,
No,
if
but-
it's, I think the more general you are within the actual type of class that you're teaching, it will generate something a little more flexible that you can actually then, modify. Because this is not final, you can still modify it. Right. Yes.
Can you change the Bloom taxonomy standard where it says desired confidence level? Just
This here?
No, the drop
not the
down.
bar, the type. Because I'm curious, I see what it's doing here, right?
Yeah.
It's using
So-
a keyword which is evaluate, it's giving them, give me a couple of examples.
Yeah.
But I want to see what else. it can
Yeah, it does. It's generate, and right now it's a little bit high, but that's fine. Here you go. So unveiling computational beauty. So this is create. So here's a discussion that is telling you, like give me an example then. I'm sorry if I'm moving too fast. Then the other one, analyzing, and there's, the cognitive level is analyzed. And then the last one, defining work and evaluate. So let's assume that I like the last one. I'm just gonna pick that one, and I'm just gonna add it. Okay. And here it is, and I can just save it. If I want to make it, at this point you can do whatever you would do with your discussions. So I'm gonna just save it, and it's there, and I can edit it right by just doing that, and I can change the wording if I don't like the way, or if I want to add a couple of things. Yes.
I have a question on the assessment side. So now on the discussions, we get all these metrics, right? This is the grade level student is writing that. If you use, is there any connection between the other generation of the discussion prompts and the assessment piece in discussion? Meaning,
You mean the,
if I select, say, an inspire me, that level of complexity, et cetera, then on the analytics side, will it assess the student on those metric, or is that a separate?
I think it's separate. I think
Yeah.
it's separate. I can double check, but I'm fairly certain it's separate.
Yeah. However, it does have a point where if you as an analyzing that component, you can actually already know what's the base of that discussion, which you can actually put in there. So that, and so let me just cancel this, and then so here it is. This is my discussion, and you will do the same thing for journal, which I think we all know how to do that. I'm not gonna, like, it's right there, and you will do the same thing. There's the button here. Okay. Now let's go back, and now let's talk about questions. So you can generate a test. Again, it will be based on the title of the course and some of the descriptions you're providing. So let's do that. I'm back in my course, and I want to generate, let me see, sorry, just don't want to go back and forth. I just want to place them in the same spot. So I have my 60s, I'm going to create a test, which is right here, same way you do it. And so notice how there is nothing here. So, but if I go here, and then these are your typical questions, the way you will enter them. Here's a generate question via AI. And once again, you can put the description there, and it will try to do that. Okay. So if I want to be very specific, I can say 1980s. Again, here's this inspire me, because you can either pick I only want essay questions, or inspire me will give you an example of each one of those. You see? Yeah. And the complexity, no, I'm just going to go somewhere there. Number of questions, I can go all the way to 10 questions, or I can do 3 questions. I'm just going to do 4 questions. And then I'm going to hit generate. And voila. Rock music in the 80s. See that? And just by me putting just that there. And it gives you the different questions that I want. So I'm just going to select those. I like them. Let's say that you partially like one of these questions, select it, because you cannot change it here. You have to select it, goes into your quiz, and then you modify it. It's important, because I know I had that question before. So there it is. And then
So it will look through my whole entire content of my course and help me
it will try to look at the descriptors of that.
Yeah,
Yes. Not, it's not going to read your document, and I'll get back to that in a minute.
Okay.
Some of those questions, but in general, it's giving you some of these things that are already. And then I can just, yes.
If I have a previous assessment or a previous test, it won't read that? within the
So,
module?
yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
So you can go back and edit a task questions, and that's what we're going to do next. And then you can just tell it, give me 3 questions, and it'll look at those, and then it will generate it at the bottom of your questions. You can just ask as many quizzes that you want. Or the description. I mean, for me, I think it's more useful if you actually use in a description, like you just based on where you grabbing these questions from, and that will probably give you a little bit better, in my mind. I mean, it could be that you already have 50 questions and just looking for modifications, some of those questions that could be a little bit different. But yeah, that's definitely something you can do. Where was I? So we finished that. We did the test. Yeah, it's right here. And I'm dragging it. Okay, it's supposed to be in my. You guys should already. There you go. I just did that in case there's someone never seen that before. I know you guys all have. But... Okay, so that is that one. Let's go back to the next one, which is now a bank generation of these things. Did I miss something? Question bank. Doesn't matter. All right, so in this one, we're actually going to create questions from an Ultra document. So let's show you. This is actually, if I show you, then you'll go like, oh, okay. So now I go here. Once again, I'm in my class, computer science. I think I actually have this one. That's the document. You guys remember that one? So I have all the content here. It's already there, so this will answer your question. And I can actually go here, and your question too, and click auto-generate a question bank. And now it's reading that document. Now this is really reading that document, and it will generate your questions. So, and now you can just, whatever number of questions you want. And it does have, so I'm just going to say that I like that one, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. So I'm going to add this to my question bank. What happened to the question bank? Well, you have to go to the question bank. So I'm going to go to the question bank. I'll be able to see it here. These are the questions I just added.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and you can edit that if you want to. And then once you do that, then you will go back to your document, and then from here, you're going to add, or you're going to create a test. But this time, you're going to add it from a bank. Right here. See that? And now it's my test. So I like those 2 questions. I'm going to add them to my test. I can just say, test number 1 if I want.
Does that automatically go into the grade
Yeah,
book
right there.
and all that business?
Right there.
Feeds right into it.
Now, I realize this is not part of this, but I'm just going to say it because do you guys know how to delete? Oh, no, this one is easy. Never mind. Because if you can always go and manage your banks, and then it'll be there. And if you meant to, because now it's gonna because it's so easy to create these things, you're gonna have like a lot of them, right? So this is how you will delete them if you don't need those banks. Like you didn't mean to do it, then this is how you will delete it.
So the way my course is set up, I have a lot of, not modules. I have an area where I do lectures
Okay.
on stuff that they don't have to read. So I might have 25 topics. Can I go into each one of those topics and ask it to generate questions about that topic, then pull that all together into one test, like pick and choose?
You could, so you will create, this is a little bit more of what we're covering here.
I know, sorry.
But that's something that you can actually marry a, bank tests from several ones into one.
Okay.
But you have to do it. It won't do it for you.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I should caution everybody here on this, on what I just showed you. It will not go out, if you have a link, it's not gonna go out in the internet, read the document, and then pull questions. This is not for that. If you have attached documents, PDFs or anything like that, it's not gonna open them and create anything like that. This tool is not like that. This is why it's called the Ultra document, because it has to be written somewhere in the course that the AI can actually read that there. So someone else last time was asking a question and go like, yeah, but this is easy. You can create a Word document. If you have, let's go back to that example. If you have a PDF document, you can like copy, as long as you can copy and paste, and then generate your questions, and then delete it. She didn't hear that, but you can do it.
Is that fair use?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. Well, because sometimes it happens that like maybe you have a document from a publisher that was given to you a long time ago, and you like that document.
Or making websites,
Yeah.
We can do it.
Right.
But if we do it and then we have those questions that are generated in our bank.
Yeah.
Is
It's
the
just-
tool infringing on?
No, but no, it isn't, and it is. I mean, in a sense that if you don't have, in my view, and this is, I'm no lawyer or anything like that here. So the one thing I will say, for instance, let's say that you have a book, an ebook that you definitely want to make it easier for the students to actually take the test here, but they have to purchase it. Well, then that's a fair. They just don't give you that option anymore. But if you can actually copy and paste and then create the tests, because they're still getting that information from the publisher where they're actually purchasing this equipment, the content, then you're fine. I don't know that that's something that, to your point, Danny, I think it will be fine. So anyway, just again, just to review this. If you're using ebooks or anything like that, it's not going to go out into the publisher and grab it. That's just not there. Maybe in a couple of years, if they have some kind of arrangement, maybe that will be possible. But today, that's not a thing. And the same thing goes for attached documents. You wouldn't be able to do that as well.
So in a couple of months, I was just, because it sounded familiar, so I wanted to go to the roadmap and look. And so in about 3 months or so, the AI context picker will be also part of the AI design. And basically what that is you can select Ultra documents, uploaded files, and other content items. So it still has to be within that course. And you can use that for, to make AI design assistant suggestions as well. So you can look at, like I mentioned, like we said, Ultra documents, but also any content that might have been uploaded into your course too.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why we have her here, because you will give me those updates. Because I know Claude can do it. Excuse me, Claude can do it. You can upload the PDFs and it reads it, and it just spits out, whatever you're asking it to do. So I was not surprised. I'm just happy to hear that it's coming up. Yeah. Because that's very useful. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question about strategy on how to generate a test, because test creating takes a lot of my brain.
Yes.
Time. So, do you think it would be, given the tools we have now,
Mhm.
do you think it would be a better strategy to create questions for individual documents and then pull those questions into a bank and then generate a test?
Absolutely.
Then just,
Yeah, that is, yeah, and then everybody, this is exactly what the last session is exactly what the conclusion was. They're like, yeah, if you can actually create a document, because there is no limit, right? It's just because it's going, then you can actually have a very decent number of questions that you can just keep asking it. Yeah, and then just build it, and then you can just put it together. So that's definitely a good way to do it. And the last one, then let's talk about rubric generation. And I just want to make sure that I'm looking at my course. So again, I'm in the CIS. I'm going to go here. So for a rubric, you already have to have a quiz, and it has to be graded. So that's just something that so I would go here, and then I would go into this. And I'm going to go add in a rubric. You see where I am, right?
mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, voila, generate. And once again, how do I want this rubric? Do I want it to be points? Do I want, it's up to you how you use it. Description, if you like. Columns, I'm just kind of like, just like 3. And I'll just generate. And now it's doing. And here is my rubric. I'm going to use it. See if I want to edit some of these pieces if I like that. And then there you go. It gives me that, like, unbelievable, right? Like, create a rubric is just like, you're even thinking, like, how am I going to do this? Now it's there. This is just amazing. So, rubric, multiple points, I already have it. Did I go right? Okay. And now I have a test with a rubric embedded. But because now let me go back to what I said earlier, which is because it makes it so easy to do these rubrics. Like all of a sudden you have a lot of rubrics that you can't even like, what? How do I get rid of them? Because it's not easy. Like you don't think where to find them to delete them. So now the other one is very obvious. This is the bank. This is how you find them. So I'm gonna go into my gradebook, and I'm gonna go in the gear here, and I'm going to see them here. See, I only have one, but if I had a lot of them, this is how I'll delete it. So I'm just gonna, or duplicate if you want to. And yeah, I don't like it. There you go. That's how you should make a note of this, because I know that, as you play with this, you're gonna have like, 20, 40 rubrics. Something that before it was like very, like you would be that one I always want to use. But now it can actually give you that. And that is really what we have. Yes?
On the rubrics, are the rubrics tethered to the quiz, or can I reuse them?
You can reuse them just like the previous ones. You can always, you will have the ones. If you already have one, this is just how you will build a new one if you need it. But if you already have one, or there's one that you need to use by, that there is something within your department that you need to do, that's how you will add it to it. So, and it really, once they're there, it's just that's. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Awesome. It's great.
Isn't it?
Like I almost want to see an outline of what you just went over. Do you have something like that?
You mean like this?
Yeah, I just generated.
Well, yeah, of the things that I can do. Like you just went over everything, and then just to
Send me,
spark my
send me a
memory.
quick email, e-support, and I'll send you the.
Some, yeah, just because like, think
But-
about that, you could do this, or think about like modifying that.
And just the thing that I will say, like all of these tools that I just show you, they are like step by steps in Blackboard's help center. So it is all there. Obviously, they're not going into what we just discussed, like, oh, you can do it this way, you can do it, and then like you guys are interacting. I think this is what the piece is, right? Because just having the tool, and not, but when you guys are talking about, oh, I can use it this way, that's really what is the useful about this. It really just sitting in your classroom and then thinking like, oh, maybe I can do it. But if you don't see other examples, I'm sure you'll figure it out at some point. But it just makes it a little more, it captures you a little better.
I've used, ChatGPT to help me with generating like just a learning module, or even like just a daily course content.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do today to talk about sustainability? And it'll generate.
Right. Just got to be very careful as to how we're using it and make sure that, because, it tells you like it's a fact.
Right. No.
You have to verify
it's
that.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
I could do this. That's the idea.
So, all right. Well, I got nothing else. I think I'm so happy to see you guys.
Thank you.
It's usually email and phone calls, but see everybody in person. It's just a whole different level. That's just
Thank
very
you
nice.
very much.
Yes.
I do just one, it's totally unrelated. Do you know Blackboard is getting a record scale for tasks? Because I like to do my own surveys after each course.
Forms, yes, their forms are coming, and they're using Likert question. Yes, I think, what month are we in? March? I think March production, because I think it was released in February 10th. And if I'm off on that by a month,
But it's coming?
but it's coming.
Oh, thank God.
It is coming,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a pain, because I have to do it as a test,
Yeah,
and then everything
yeah.
is right, and there's no point.
And it's called forms.
It's
Yeah.
not forms,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
Oh, so under, like, when you create, instead of like test or assignment, it would be a form?
I think so. I now that was mentioned,
Yeah,
I think I see the screenshot of that. But
yeah.
it's because I was looking at something completely different, which was a survey piece. And I was like,
All right,
oh,
that's
okay, that's
okay.
what that is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, I can give you some good news today.
All right. Well, we have coffee and
Can I hijack?
Yes. Go ahead.
Can I hijack this meeting and make a request of Blackboard?
Sure.
We were having a discussion about attendance and the options in the attendance, feature are not, they don't meet all my needs.
Okay.
Like the only options are present, late, excused.
Uh-huh.
And I would like left early, join online. I would
Okay.
like other options. And I don't know if that's possible.
Well, it isn't in a sense of that it will be something that could actually submit it to be a new option there, but it wouldn't be customizable to, right?
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would suggest is if it's something that, like this, you're thinking you're playing, or not playing, you're in your course, you're like, this would be a lot better if it did X, Y, Z. There's something called the idea exchange. And basically if it's a feature or a task, I guess, that's not currently in your Blackboard environment. So for example, this attendance, more options, you can submit an idea through the idea exchange. And know that it's not going into a black hole. It's not just like some repository of, that's where we send people with suggestions. It is read by our product management team, by support. It has the eyes of a lot of folks in leadership on the teaching and learning side of Blackboard. And with Ultra, that's basically how Ultra was built, was based on the idea exchange. Of course, there was some feature parity with original, but everything else has been based on suggestions via the idea exchange. And so what will happen is that folks will go in and kind of upvote it, right? So if they see an idea that's got like 30 votes or something, folks from product will comment. So they'll say, oh, you know what? We already have that. That's coming through. It's in our pipeline. You can expect it in like 6 months, or it's in research. That's a great idea. We'll think that over a little bit more.
Where is the idea?
So the idea exchange.
Will be under. Will be under communities. I can send you the link.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but Tanya, is that something that you can submit for as part of some of the reporting that you're doing?
Myself that I can submit. So I don't
A suggestion
have
that
access
was okay.
to the idea exchange because it's truly meant for our institutions. I would say that it means more coming from the community than from me.
Got it. All right.
Another suggestion with regards to AI use.
Mhm.
I think these tools are great, but they're not always easy to find on the different aspects.
Mhm.
And I think that there is already a dedicated icon with the 3 stars.
Mhm.
So if that could be kind of the icon, the go-to for
At the top, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
We need to take a look.
Right, because you gotta. I guess they're just trying to, and I can see why, but I definitely, because I even found myself looking for it at the top.
Yeah.
But I guess on the design component, they just wanted to place it anywhere where you actually
When
would,
you're adding
would you
content.
adding regular content, it would say, oh, I can also use AI. But
Right.
yeah, that would be
Yeah,
another.
I see your point too. I think that, Ultra is also, it's all about like that design consistency. So you know that, okay, if I see 3 dots, that means I can go in and edit or delete. If I see a plus sign, that means I can add, which is why obviously the AI generated components are under the plus sign in addition to on the side over there. So it's meant to be consistent, but I do see your point too. Like, why is it over here on the side, but then it's over here? So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think even the fact that they're using 2 stars with a white background, and then the other one is the opposite, right? The icon is black on the outside, and then it's white in the inside.
Or sometimes it says.
Yeah, it's not consistent.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's being picky now, but to me, that's like, oh, I'm very visual, so that's how I kind of remember things. In any case, I think I don't want to, we're actually running a little bit out over time, but thank you so much for coming, and I really hope that this, you guys can saves you time. It really is all about that, right? It helps me with your content and the materials. So, all right, great seeing everybody.